Why is your neighbor Johnny so successful, yet his brother with the same exact resources and talent never really made a career out of it? Could it be that having talent isn't all it takes to be successful? Of course, it's not. It takes hard work, right? That's everyone's go-to answer. But deep down, do you actually believe it? Why aren't you in the NBA? Why didn't you win a Grammy? Why didn't you start that $1 million business? Why didn't you run that marathon? Why didn't you get that promotion? Our automatic defense mechanism to rationalize why they accomplished that and we didn't is that they had the natural talent. Even though 10 seconds ago, you just said that talent wasn't enough. So what actually makes a person successful and why? Angela Duckworth, a psychologist and professor, has spent years obsessing over that question and shared her findings in the book Grit. Lucky for you, today you'll find out exactly what she discovered, plus real actionable tips, because it's not just about reading but putting it to the test. What Angela quickly realized after studying thousands of successful people is that effort counts twice as much as talent. That's where her famous formula comes into play. Talent times effort creates skill, and skill times effort creates achievement. For you and me, that means we can stop using the excuse of, wow, they're so talented, I could never do that, and replace it with, if they can, I can. But how? Have you heard of the word grit? Grit is to have passion and perseverance for a long-term and meaningful goal. It's pretty much what every other personal growth book said. But how do we actually implement it? Gritty people have these 4 qualities. Number 1, interest. A real fascination with the topic they're diving into. Your parents may have slightly convinced you to get into the medical field, but if it's not what you want, you can only give so much effort. Second comes practice. Sounds simple, but it's more than just practicing. First of all, getting yourself to practice at a consistent pace means pushing through procrastination and comfort when you're not really in the mood for it. As we all know, this is easier said than done. To make this easier to accomplish, I recommend pairing it with the actionable tips from our book review on atomic habits. So practicing becomes a habit to you that becomes second nature. You normally don't even think about getting dressed. It's just a habit that's automatic. The actual picking of the outfit is a whole other different conversation, but practicing should become just as easy as you knowing you have to get dressed. The next half to practicing is your threshold. An Ironman runner doesn't just show up to practice and run 5 miles. A successful Ironman runner shows up to practice and is increasing his run every single day, either by distance or by pace. And it's just a practice, but every day that runner is getting better and better. Number 3. It's a common misbelief that passion is all you need to get fueled. Angela's studies actually found the contrary. While having passion does have a correlation with grit, having purpose came in at an even higher correlation with grit. If you ask 3 different people working at a dental office what they're doing, one could say they're cleaning teeth. The other could say they're preventing cavities. And the last could say they're promoting health and well-being by starting from the inside. One has a job, the second has a career, and the third has purpose. Yet day to day, they're doing the same exact thing. When one of those 3 isn't feeling motivated, has other things to do, wants to quit, which one do you think is most likely to pull through? Which of the 3 are you? Step 4 of having grit is to have hope. Again, what does that even mean? How can we implement that? Here's how. Answer the following question. 1, do you think you can learn something new? Or are you stuck on the, it's so easy for young people to learn, but now at my age? Number 2, when a setback occurs, how do you see it? As something bad or as a redirection? Number 3, you had to ask for help. How would you feel? Number 4, if someone were to hear your thoughts for a whole day, are they optimistic or pessimistic? We all say we have hope and we're open to growing, similarly to what we say about talent and hard work. But when it comes to the reality, the majority of us don't have a growth mindset. And that is a key quality of a gritty, successful person. Put it to the test this week. Try something completely new, something you've always said you couldn't do. Our brains are made to form new pathways. It's never too late. Just because you didn't learn to rollerblade as a teen doesn't mean it's too late. To recap, the 4 qualities of grit are interest, practice, passion, and hope. But there's a little more to it. But first, do you remember the definition of grit? Grit is to have passion and perseverance for long-term and meaningful goals. You can implement these 4 qualities, but if you haven't found your goal, how can you put it into place long-term? Finding your interest comes from being open to explore. It's not just going to show up knocking at your door. If you don't know your interests, try this. Make a list of questions you are constantly asking or goals you currently have. Write absolutely everything down. Then start to circle the main and most important one. Being able to find your main thing also means saying no to countless other ones that steal your time and attention. The book Ikigai talks all about how to find your passion. So if you'd like an actionable book review, comment Ikigai down below. If you've already read Grit, drop your thoughts down below. And if this episode left you hungry to know more, the book link is down below in the description.